So, everyone, welcome back. I'm your host, Veteran Mountain Man. And you can see here left wing judge eliminates work requirement for welfare program. Now, this took place in Kentucky. The judge in this case is actually a U.S. district judge by the name of James Blossenberg. He was appointed by President Obama, and he recently wrote a decision that cast aside the work rules for Medicaid recipients in the state of Kentucky. Now, these rules had a basis in the Social Security Act that was created way back, which allowed for the creation of Social Security and of Medicare and Medicaid, as well as the Medicaid Act that allowed for low income individuals to receive medical care assistance from the federal government. And to be fair, there's even a work requirement for welfare that comes from the federal government in and of itself. Which was passed in the 1990s under President Clinton as part of his welfare reform and tax budgeting plan, which created the balanced budget. Now, part of that was because Republicans in the House and Senate would not give him a good budget unless there was entitlement reform. And part of the entitlement reform was up to 20 hours a week for healthy, able bodied individuals to do work, either volunteer work or paid work in order to maintain their benefits. We didn't throw people who were disabled off of it because of that. We didn't throw off the elderly. They were exempt. It was able-bodied individuals. Now, Kentucky's program, which is something that's been approved, basically reinforced those concepts in that they wanted people who were able-bodied and capable but were on Medicaid to have some form of gainful employment or work contributing back to society. Because if you're sitting on your tuchus not doing anything, then you're not really helping society, and all you're doing is draining it. Now, this socialist activist judge has basically stated that no, the states can't do this, even though this is something that's already federally approved. It was approved under the Trump administration. It's something that is standing in multiple states now. And in fact, even under President Obama, there had to be state waivers for the work conditions that were imposed under President Clinton in the 1990s during his term to stop them from being enforced. So this is a known situation. This is something that's been going on for a while. And the fact that this judge decided that he was going to unilaterally change the law without representatives involved, without the voting public involved, without anybody who has actually been elected involved, shows some of the dangers of judicial activism. It basically means that these types of judges can enforce whatever they decide, whenever they decide it, from the bench. And there is nothing the American populace can do. This is ruled by judicial theocracy. And the truth of the matter is that this kind of stuff is stuff we need to be standing up against. And right now, with a Supreme Court justice being nominated, one who's actually an originalist and will probably interpret the Constitution as it is written, at least I hope he does. I hope he doesn't lurch so far left that we end up seeing another Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And the fact that we have probably 2 or 3 more seats that are going to come up in the next few years, while either Trump is in office or the next president is in office, we need to be talking about this. This is part of what the major elections will be dealing with, is who the people like this are sitting on those benches are. And regardless if you agree with my political decisions or political facts that we banter about, we should all be able to agree that judges should not be writing law from the bench. It is not the responsibility of the judiciary to be doing that. That is the responsibility of the legislature. Legislatures write laws. Executives enact the laws. Judiciary rule based off laws. That is the division and separation of powers that made this country what it is and allows us to operate our limited republic the way we do. And if we start crumbling and eroding these divisions, we start destroying our own nation from within. And this kind of stuff is a prime example of what they are trying to do to erode our nation from within. So we shouldn't be standing for this. And to be fair, I would like to see a movement for an amendment to assist Congress in removing errant activist judges so that we can have some sort of recourse when judges like this go bad and go way off the reservation and start ruling in bizarre ways, way beyond the pale of what the populace wants. Because without recourse, we are stuck with these kind of judges making decisions that the country doesn't want. Almost every state in the union agrees that able bodied individuals who are on welfare should be contributing back, even if it's just volunteering, so that their skills don't diminish to the point where they can't work anymore. I mean, if you're not actively working, you lose the soft skills, you lose the work ethic skills. Those are things that are hard to reestablish. And once you've been out of the workforce for too long, you can't get back easily. And the fact that we are supporting these things being eroded and diminished and creating a reliance on the programs is just disturbing. We should be encouraging people to leave the programs and become independent, not forcing them to be dependent on the government, especially when they're able bodied and capable. Well, I want to thank you all again for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, as well as click the notification bell icon. If you don't click the notification bell, you might not get notifications. And even if you do, you might not get notifications. I've been told by some of my subscribers that they've been missing the notifications. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and follow me on some of my other social media platforms. The links are down below in the description, as well as a link to this article and the other article I referenced here just a minute ago, because, it's always important to cite your sources. And as always, have yourself a beautiful day.